So I gotta walk back to my car. And I'm gonna take a circuitous route to do it because I just filmed my second video of the day. And maybe I'll use the description of my videos to talk about who the video is for and what I want them to get out of the video. That could be useful because I didn't really understand what to use that for, so I just leave it blank all the time. Okay, that's useful because this can be specifically for content creators, and I'll get some sort of a content schedule going by doing this. But this video, I want to be on scheduling content versus making content organically, let's say. Let's say scheduled content versus organic content production. Or I just say scheduling versus not scheduling content creation. Or does consistency matter in content creation? Something like that. I mean, really what I want to compare is scheduling out content. Does it really matter to make content every day? Does it really matter to have content scheduled every day? Because that's not the same thing. You batch make content and then schedule it out. Or you could make content every single day and then release it in batches. There's a whole bunch of different, you could do the same time every day, the same type of content every day. All this stuff, what kinds of content, video content. Oh, I gotta burp, but I can't burp. Video content, cartoons, webcomics do really well. I've seen SMBC do really well. I think there's a massive lead time. You probably gotta publish webcomics for a decade before you actually build much of a cult following. But once you do, I mean, that guy has had multiple New York Times best-selling books, probably because it's literary. Yeah, you have to be able to read a webcomic. So he's got an audience of people who like to read. Smart. I've thought about doing a webcomic myself, but it's and this is interesting. This is kind of a side tangent, but I think that YouTube is really great for side tangents because it's all related. Because I didn't used to be interested in I used to be interested in making videos in this style. I honestly just found it intimidating. What? I'm just going to speak directly to a camera and show my face on camera, and people are going to look at me and judge me while I say whatever ideas come into my head, and I try not to get stage fright for no one while I stare into a black mirror. Oh my God, the future is a dystopia. Yeah, I mean, that can definitely occur to you, but I don't know. I kind of fallen into it in a nice way. You fall in love. I've kind of fallen in love with video production. And, I think I could fall in love with making webcomics too. I mean, I think I could fall in love with any practice I found to be a cool and awesome and useful practice to me at this point. I mean, I've tried drinking my own pee in pursuit of fixing my health problems, which honestly, overrated. People are oh, drink your own urine. Didn't really do shit for me. Find green tea much more effective. Drink a lot of green tea. I don't drink my urine. Yeah, I don't think it's helpful. You get desperate, you try shit. So I do ferment my own green tea too. I've heard people fermenting their own urine. That sounds really disgusting. But back to the topic of content production. You see how I'm making the video. I'm kind of conveying the spirit of video production with the video itself. But ultimately, yes, it does matter. Releasing videos every day does matter. I think that the YouTube audience would be prefigured to, for this kind of content, I think I would be finding people who want live experiences. Which, because of the martial nature of Week to Warrior, I think is wise of me to lead with this. I'm also doing the books. I think I could fall in love with webcomics as well. Does consistency matter? Yes. Yeah, I mean, people got a lot of options for things to do. And if watching your videos is something that you want people to do, then you have to enable them to do it. If heroin wasn't available to a heroin addict, they wouldn't do heroin. And why do I say this? Because ultimately, everything follows a Pareto distribution. So the square root of the number of people who watch your videos will watch half your videos. Half your views are from the square root of the number of people who watch your videos. So there's going to be a lot of people who are addicted to watching your content, who are like addicted to your content. Like I've definitely become addicted to like Saturday morning breakfast cereal comics at points in time, which is fine. You know, I think it's like a good addiction. That's kind of like why I make my videos the way I do. Because like, it's not pornography. It's not like abuse. It's just me talking about ideas and how I'm trying to be better and produce good things for the world in order to make the world a better place because I inhabit it. And like that's pretty much the tune of my videos. And then also like it's fun to attain victory within a competitive setting that fosters growth. Like basically like I don't know. I think I'm like what PBS for kids should be. like really, like it's just so wholesome. It's like, go for walks regularly, kids, and be sure to breathe deeply so your body can be nice and oxygenated. And then there's also the other side, which is like, going for walks barefoot enables you to move your feet faster than your opponent, and hyperoxygenated blood creates faster reaction time, putting him down. Like there's that too, and it's the same thing. Oh, I really love that. So yeah, the consistency matters. Like PBS, like why do TV shows have reruns and why do they run episodes like all the time? It's like, so you always have something new to tune into. And it's like, well, I can't compete with the scripting and production value of, I wouldn't say value, production value, because I think the value of this is insane. I mean, you couldn't get all of Hollywood to produce one of my videos. That's true. Like, you couldn't get all of Hollywood to produce one of my videos. Couldn't do it. They can't make videos like me. Only I make videos like me. And I put a lot of value on that because a lot of people get a lot of value out of that. So there you go. So ultimately, and I just lean into my unique value proposition, and then people watch my videos and people keep watching my videos and I make more videos. And then I think scheduling them helps. But ultimately, it's not like critical. I mean, I think maybe it could be. I think that there's like, you have to, if you want to build viewership, it really depends like what your goal is as a content creator. It's like, do you already, I think this is really like self-awareness of your goals and what you're trying to accomplish and your time frame for accomplishing it and your means for accomplishing it. Like, it's very much like a martial arts exercise. Like when I'm doing jujitsu, I have to like consider like, do I have the physical ability to take this guy down and mount him? Do I? If I don't, how am I going to beat him? Okay, do I have the physical ability? Can I make him think that I could do that and then use his reaction to that to do something? Yeah, like, this is how I have to think as a business owner, as a jiu-jitsu practitioner. You have to think like what can I actually do right here? Like, what can I actually do in reality? What do I need to do? What is my objective in this scenario? Like, if I'm in a jiu-jitsu match against certain people, my objective is not to submit them. My objective is to survive. That's my objective. That's my first objective. I mean, yeah, I'd like to submit them, but I mean, there's just certain people, like, there's certain realities. Like, if I were to go against a top in the world jiu-jitsu athlete right now, I mean, I would say it depends. I mean, no, I mean, I would have to be gunning to submit him. But it's like at the same time, though, my actual goal, like if you look at like, I would be I would be trying to submit him, but I would be doing so, like my actual goal would be to survive. If I could survive, I would achieve my goal. But I'm only going to achieve my goal of surviving by trying to submit him. So I have to actually make a credible threat of submission in order to do that. But if I could survive and he could not submit me, I would consider that I had won. Because he's a professional athlete and I am not a professional athlete. I mean, I kind of am a professional athlete. No, fucking I am a professional athlete. Well, so this, you see like goal shifting. It's like, I mean, I get like, why do I focus on this? I focus on this because it really matters. Because I'm like, actually, no, I do consider myself a professional athlete, but it's like I'm not in a competitive phase right now. So, okay, this is why, because I'm not in a competitive phase right now, so the manner in which I was able to survive would validate, kind of like burp hiccup thing. Would validate the conceptual frameworks. Maybe it's like good. Maybe it's my body relaxing because I've been making videos for an hour and a half, and now like my vagus nerve is like actually chilling out because I have severe HPA axis dysregulation, and talking activates my Broca's area, which deactivates the PTSD caused by decades of insomnia. That could be happening. But back to, so my goal, that would validate the systems of training that I'm currently using. So that would actually be the success. So that, like, you see what I'm saying? It's like, I'm like, now I'm going back. I'm like, do what, like, what exactly is the goal here? You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I just survive by mounting him and not finishing him, it's like, that's still my method of survival. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's just certain, like, you have to be very clear what your objectives are. Is your objective lead generation? Is your objective, like, are you selling? What are you selling? Because even if you're not selling anything, but again, it's like, is your objective to sell something? Like, maybe you don't care if anyone watches your videos. If you don't care, maybe you don't care if anyone I don't care if anyone watches all of my videos. I would just be really put out if no one watched it. But even at this point, like, I've made so many videos, there's so many people watching my videos, that if everyone stopped watching my videos for some reason, I would just divert my attention to something else, because I know that I can use long-term energy and effort and consistency. So back to scheduling videos. I think that scheduling content helps simply because it allows you to get consistent feedback for your actions. I think that's the real benefit of it, because if you don't know whether or not uploading every day makes you blow up on social media, then you'll never know. You'll be like, maybe that'll work. And like, maybe it would, but like, you didn't do it. So now you don't know if it works. So now it doesn't really matter if it works as far as you're concerned, because it didn't work for you because you didn't do it. So it doesn't even count as data because you have no positive or negative affirmation of the efficacy of the strategy you didn't try. Yeah, I definitely think my Broca's area is doing a thing. That was like super coherent, and I've never even, like, this is all new topics I'm talking about, and I'm talking very coherently about them. So my brain is definitely doing a very interesting thing at the moment. But yeah, I think consistency is big in that area for that reason. But it's also like consistency within a strategy. You want to have some sort of, but the strategy comes with the execution. So yeah, I do think scheduling matters. I think that having videos you make every day matters too, though. I think showing up, I think doing both matters. Like, you want videos, you want a daily infusion of daily energy, but you also want simply, depends on what you're trying to communicate. Like, for me, I have decided right now that I'm going to focus on using my videos to convey very specific things. Like, there's certain things that I wish to convey with my videos. Like the archery world domination videos, I wish to convey certain ideas about media marketing to people by demonstrating how they work through these videos and talking about that while I'm doing it. In addition to that, I also want to explore how there's other more direct strategies I have, and there's also more indirect strategies. Like, I'm kind of falling in love with, like I literally say, like, my Broca's area is turning on. Like, I feel my brain turning on making these long form videos. So I'm falling in love with making these long form videos in this style, and that is making me want to keep making them. And there's some viewership potential for that as well. So there's some winner effect I get from that, because I am getting viewership, significant viewership on Rumble. And that's interesting, because I don't really know the long-term effect of that. But there's also like books I'm writing, and I'm kind of like following this train of thought, because at this point I've really just become obsessed with expression. And even consistent versus inconsistent expression reflects the creator's own beliefs about what they're doing and their reasons for doing it, which makes that also a form of expression, which I've realized by expressing myself all these times on the internet. So But it comes down to goals. So I am going to actually keep this video rolling, but I am going to have to keep having to pee. I'm just kind of walking and taking salt pills at this point in time. I'm not going to show myself peeing, you freaking weirdos. Not that I'm saying you're weirdos. I'm being jokey. Which I can do because it's my YouTube channel. There we go. Stick here. I kind of just create a little bathroom stall for myself with my car doors. So, people are probably going to study these videos in psychology classes in the future. Ooh. So anyway, like for me personally, I've realized that I can get, oh wait, what the, okay. So I got a few things. So I've realized basically that I can get consistent attention with this strategy of making videos, the archery videos, which are basically unblockable because I am shifting the culture of the internet at the same time as I am interacting with the culture of the internet, so as to make the move unblockable. Because to even just to block the videos would alert everyone else who's seeing the videos that the videos are being suppressed, which it is unblockable. It is actually unblockable because it's an unblockable move. I guess I'll explain this because I'm talking to content creators, so I'll explain the genius of this move. So if you, you know how everyone was doing Hormozi style reels and stuff? It's like, oh, Hormozi style reels. Basically just the idea that if you have a successful strategy on the internet, people will just copy you because it's successful. Like, even if the things they're copying aren't the reason that you were successful or that the strategy appeared to be successful, they'll still just copy those things because those things become indicative of success through their association with the successful strategy, even if they have nothing to do with the success of the strategy. Holy cow, the language areas of my brain are switched on. Like, this is very efficacious for just me personally. So I don't have these videos coming up. But anyway, so ultimately, and I'm ultimately doing that through these style of videos. Like Elliot Hulse had that effect on the internet where after he became popular for his style of video making, everyone started making videos like that. And then a bunch of them became very popular because it's simply the idea that you could just make a video of you talking to a camera without any pretense was basically unexplored at that point. So it was really not explored. So ultimately he became very popular. The Vlogbrothers explored it a little bit, but they still had some pretense. And also like the topics Elliot was covering, the fact that he wasn't just a YouTuber, he was also like doing a lot of other stuff. And that I think was really big. And then the consistency, like he went at that like an athlete, which is what I'm doing. I'm going at it like an athlete because I am an athlete. That's why I corrected myself. And I was like, no, I actually am a pro athlete because I literally treat, like I'm walking barefoot right now with a hiking stick, drinking spring water, taking salt pills. Like this is part of my training. I'm training my brain right now to just produce coherent and brilliant thoughts at a rate that is hitherto unprecedented. Like this is, again, just part of my training for my life and myself. But basically, to suppress those videos gives me the ability to make other viral videos about the suppression of those videos, which proves the phenomenon, but they're not being suppressed. So that means the ideas are spreading, which it just spreads the idea. It's like you either block me, in which case I can prove how controlled we're being, which essentially would, you get the Streisand effect, or, and it's the topic of world domination. Hello, my name is Devin Young and I'm taking over the world. So it's like, and it's free speech. So it's like this critical focal point of all these things, archery and everything. And to block it is to give me the ability to promote it via the block. To not block it is to spread the idea that I've created an unblockable move, which itself validates the strategy of the unblockable move. And even if it wouldn't work, I just have to make it look like it works, which I could obviously do, which I explain, which is part of it. So really, unless you just kill me, it just kind of works. But even if you kill me, I explain that I'll just come back like Obi-Wan, and it doesn't work anyway. So it's really just this no-win. Like I've created this unblockable move, which is pretty freaking cool. I mean, yeah, like it's fascinating. I guess even because if people start trying to prevent me from doing it, then I could even just document that. So it really, like, I don't know. I mean, it would be fascinating if someone were to try to watch my videos, to study my strategy, to actually think about how they would prevent me from executing it. Because I think about that all the time. I'm like, how would I stop myself from doing this? And it's like, I really wouldn't. Like, I actually wouldn't stop myself. What would I do? I would probably watch. I would build the next system. I would say, okay, imagine this succeeds or doesn't succeed, but awareness, like what comes next? I mean, I think, and that's kind of why I think of myself more as like a Nietzschean philosopher that he speaks about in Beyond Good and Evil, because I don't even think I'm really just bringing in a new era of acted out ideals. That's really what this is. Like, this is really, this YouTube era is an era where if you can demonstrate the supremacy of your own acted ideal, then if you can at least even demonstrate the endurance of your own acted ideal, then you can generate a cult following that will enable you to ensure the success of your ideal. So, if you manage it properly. So, it creates this calling for like an ultimate move. It's like, what is the ultimate move within this system? Like, what is that ultimate strategy that cannot be blocked? And I think the ultimate strategy that can't be blocked is to point out the fact that for the first time in human history, we have simply been able to have warfare on the level of the demonstration of enacted ideals through documentation via phones and cameras and drones and satellite images and all these things. So now that the wool has been pulled back and we can see what was beneath the surface in a way we've never been able to see before, and I can literally go look up, like figure out the economics of North Korea by looking at satellite photos of North Korea, then ultimately the greatest source of power becomes information. It becomes it doesn't simply become what system is succeeding the most now. It's which system can prove that its success is based most upon the successful implementation of the correct ideal. Because the question isn't which system do we believe in, it's which ideals do we build the system on. And now that the systems have been revealed in new ways, the ideals themselves are now exposed. So therefore, the ideals are now allowed to do combat. And ultimately, the result of these ideals doing combat is that the ideals themselves, if enacted properly, because of the human compulsion to understand those enacted ideals, becomes the driving force for attention, which is currently the driving force for marketing, which is currently the driving force for industry, which is currently the driving force for global power and sheer measurable units of energy. And whoever realizes that and enacts that out properly, which takes more than videos, I might add, will control the world. If they play their cards right. He or she. They. Whichever. Be it family, fraternity, confederation, co-founders, or individuals. So that's simply interesting. So it's really about understanding the ideas. So I don't really care if people watch any of my videos in particular, because I've just constructed the videos in such a way where I followed this train of ideas to its logical conclusion for other reasons, because I just wanted to know like what the future was going to look like for myself. And then I realized that ultimately there was like I just kind of fell into this. Like I kind of fell into this, and it's sort of working for a lot of reasons. But I basically knew it would work, because ultimately I like watch people watching like the dumbest things. Like you see people watching the dumbest stuff, and I'm like, and then I see people watching like all manner of things, and I'm like, people will watch anything. A certain amount of people will watch anything. So what's driving this? Like what's making the things appear on people's screens? And like ultimately there's people with high levels of discernment who sort of drive the taste of society by their weird eccentricities, and which create their taste. And that's sort of, and the person with the most refined eccentricities has the most refined taste. And the most refined systems of eccentricities has the most refined taste. And so therefore, I realized that, and then I thought about like how the guy who invented the typewriter died broke, and like all these great inventions and ideas that never were in their lifetime. How Nietzsche was basically unknown. And I'm like, even the greatness of my ideas themselves, if I execute perfectly, cannot guarantee their material success within my lifetime. So I started looking to other principles, and that's where I decided that I would focus on conveying ideas in a way that enabled me to pursue other things that would enable my materialistic success, which would enable the pursuit of ideas, which would create a feedback loop that, given my precise nature as a human being and goals, would bring me to my goals with enough variability to introduce new ideas and diversify my action investment portfolio against fluctuations, while enabling me compound interest over time in both output and in scale of output, and in output received, and in the reception to the output received. So it's really it's a whole thing at the end of the day. And if I had to summarize it all, if you get to the end of this video and you just want to know, like, should I schedule some content out? Yes, definitely do that. And just make like way more types of content, and really like live in such a way as to enable the highest forms of your own expression, and continue doing that while trying to be both as consistent and intense as possible while supporting recovery and living somewhat of a stable life. Sounds impossible, probably is, definitely achievable.